After Mass, the priest took us in his arms to thank us, to give us a hug. Then things got worse.
It happened more than 50 years ago, but Mark's wounds are still with him. As a child, he was sexually abused by the local priest. Even today, returning to the scene remains difficult.
I can still feel everything that happened before, even if it was 50 years ago. Now I can't bring myself to go into the church.
His abuser was a member of the clergy paid by the state, because, unlike many European countries, Belgium provides public funding for religions. Mark says the system needs reform.
The situation disgusts me, because someone who is found guilty of violent, abusive acts, he gets punished, but we shouldn't continue paying them.
Especially not by the state.
Especially not the state.
It's a debate Rick de Ville would also like to see reopened. The retired priest was one of the first to sound the alarm bell over abuse within the Catholic Church. In the wake of a documentary in which victims spoke out, he's received dozens of new testimonies.
When I was 12 or 13 years old, I was a victim of a priest. There, he mentions the name.
As well as talking about their trauma, some victims also criticised the Belgian system.
It's very painful for the victims. It's as if the Belgian authorities are subsidizing the authors of these crimes. The system of funding, the way the Belgian church and priests are paid, absolutely has to be reformed. We're not in the Middle Ages. This can't go on any longer.
The Belgian state may fund religions, but it has little influence on their institutions. No means, for example, of dismissing a priest guilty of acts of paedophilia. In the wake of the recent scandal, all the Ministry of Justice could do was ask the church to remove such people from the list of those paid by the state.
A few months ago, I heard that there were still around 10 people whose files needed evaluation. A certain number of people are also in the process of leaving the priesthood, saying to themselves that they cannot continue there. We have to find a way to say to people, I think you need to withdraw completely. The priesthood isn't for you. And this is all happening.
The Catholic Church accounts for 85% of the Belgian public funds dedicated to religions. This member of parliament belongs to the Commission of Inquiry set up following the scandal. He's well aware the state's relationship to faith is back in the spotlight.
The way we recognize religion can pose a problem. For some religions, such as Catholicism, which is the historic religion of Belgium, funding relates to the number of people who live in a municipality rather than the number of people who actually practice the religion or the way the population actually thinks.
As a result, the way the Catholic Church is funded has remained unchanged despite shrinking congregations. Amid the latest revelations about sexual abuse by the priesthood, some Belgians have even decided to be de-baptized.
Here we need to indicate the diocese to which we're addressing the letter.
This bar owner offers to help his customers with the paperwork. For Kathleen, it's a symbolic gesture.
More people and more politicians, because in the end they're the ones who make the decisions, need to see that this is not normal for religion and its institutions to get money for free.
Legally, it won't mean the church getting fewer resources, but maybe change will eventually come.
In just a few weeks, dozens of people have already come to Steve for help.
It's about opening up the debate on how we treat religion, to move towards secularization, where people have an individual right to believe. It's about how we can organize the separation of church and state in a healthy way.
Defenders of the Belgian system say it allows the authorities to keep an eye on religions, a point often raised in the wake of the 2016 Islamist attacks in Brussels. But this specialist says that argument only goes so far.
Belgium has resolutely committed to providing financial support for Islamic worship, with this idea that it would promote a democratic Islam. An absence of any real control entrusted to public authorities has, however, made it very complicated.
Some say the rules need to change so the level of financial support reflects the number of people actually practicing a religion. It's a path taken by neighbouring Luxembourg, but the Catholic Church there is now in serious financial difficulty.